Okay, guys.
He's
This
quite
is
good.
this has been a very weird podcast, yeah, and I'm really struggling to keep on topic and follow with the same subjects. But this has been a weird podcast, and I'm gonna post it anyway. I'm gonna just carry on anyway,
And
right?
let
It's
people
just
make up their own mind.
I'm gonna let you just unpack what's going on, and it is weird podcast, but I'm also enjoying it. I'm enjoying it by the mysteriousness of it, the whole thing about it. You know, I'm just enjoying it. So I want to ask you because, by the way, before this take, we were actually talking for about an hour, right? And there's a lot that we talked about. I want to carry on from what I asked you before. Was that you 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 talk about elders, and the way you talk about elders and respect and etiquettes, I feel as if it's a dying sort of mentality. And our youth, even people my age and younger probably as well, yeah, well, most likely don't know or are not acting on what our traditions, our culture encourages us, which is our elders, the way we sit, the way we talk, the way we disagree but also respect, obey, all these things. So the way you think.
What you have to do is dissect it. Dissect what is religion, what is tradition, what is elders in terms of, are they just elders by age, but not by characteristics? Yeah,
I've asked the same question. You know that not every grey bearded man
is a wise man.
is a wise man,
Are you not?
but our culture very strongly encourages us to do that. But not every grey man is a wise man, and
No.
because of that, they give or they do things certain things that we don't really agree with,
No.
and we're forced to agree with that.
Yeah, we are made to. They say respect your elders.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful
Disrespectful, yeah.
to talk back to your elder, even if the elder is wrong. And the adverse effect can really break a family. Because he's an elder, you still have to honor it. That's why the youth get switched off, because you force the kids to go get educated. You force the kids to get a job, and then what you do, you tell them that their education is worthless and their income is worthless because you, with no knowledge, but you have a grey beard and lived on this world longer, gets priority over that, even though what your outcome is wrong. So why would a youth follow that? And then you use religion to back that up. The abuse of religion in our communities is
Using it as a weapon in it.
as weaponized. Like they say, you know, the feet of your mother is Jannah.
Generalized
at
needs the feet of the mother. Yeah.
Yeah. But how many mothers actually out there are fitting to be mothers? When they're letting, not portraying themselves or being good role models to their own daughters.
I used to think elders are elders, right? I mean, the whole tradition
They're elder by age.
the elder by age, and I used to follow and abide by that rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. I encourage a lot due to certain experiences in my family, because I was the elder in my family. My father's still alive, by the way. Yeah, but he was causing more trouble than he was solving, right? So I had to be the grown up one at a very young age. So when certain things used to happen in my family, I was the one who was doing it. I was the one who everybody approached.
So
do
you had to
things.
grow up.
I had to grow up very quickly, yeah.
So you had no protection.
But thing is, in certain scenarios, elders were needed. I'm just at the end of the day someone's nephew. So as a nephew, no matter how big or small you are, as a nephew, your stature is a nephew sort of status. So you need elders to come in to speak because
We
they're the
need a
elder.
status quo. We
Yeah.
need a system. We need a, I don't want to use the word hierarchy because that's the wrong word. What we need is a proper system of not only knowledge base, respect, honor, dignity, and there's a word that the baton to be passed down.
Right, yeah.
And that should go from generation to generation to generation. That means the next generation will learn from all the good points of the elders that have gone past and learn and not do the same mistakes that the elders have done.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But in my case, my elders, my family members, whoever they are,
They were the misfits.
yeah, exactly.
They were the misfits.
And
And
they
then
were
they
causing
abused
trouble.
and they used their position as elders to continue that misfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've had to step in and
Yeah.
step on toes.
And then
in
you're
order to
you're
fit-
seen as the trouble causer.
Exactly. But in order to protect my family and heal breakages, I've had to step in.
Yeah. And that's cost you detrimental, hasn't it?
Of course, I'll be looking at a very bad guy.
Yeah. So when you asked me at the beginning of the
So
podcast,
hence why I feel what you say and how you think, I relate to it very strongly.
because so at the beginning of the podcast, you asked who's Muhammad Ali. You're answering that question yourself, and most of the people will be answering the same question.
Hence why they take so
yeah,
long to answer it.
because there's not one simple answer.
It's not.
Because I didn't go to university like that and then get a doctor's degree and then introduce my world.
And that's who you defined as,
yeah, and that's define me, love me, bow down to me because I have a CLLR in front of me or a DR, LLB or OBE, MBE, you know, Wagga Wag 1 Bs, you know what I mean? Obi-Wan Kenobi and all that stuff. I don't have that in front of me. I always say I'm the son of a shopkeeper. And I'm proud to say that. You know what I mean?
When I asked you before about do you know my father, and you didn't know. And
If I see a picture of him, I know.
you know him, and as soon as you know him, you'll understand where I come from.
Oh, okay.
I always say I am a son of my mother. And my mother was a housewife.
Yep.
But despite being a housewife, she accomplished
What both parents would do.
what both parents couldn't do. She raised 4 children, 2 into private boarding schools, bought a house, 2 houses as a housewife. Not a single job. She didn't do a single job to do that. How she managed it without eating herself, without wearing clothes herself, without buying anything for herself. Put all her effort in raising her children. Her children were her prized and possessions.
That's what she think. You asked me why did I give such a big discount.
Yeah, man.
Now you realise
that-
I've been
that's
giving.
still though.
I behind the scenes what people. I've been giving my wealth away
I know.
for 40 everything from the restaurant, from the takeaways to the building side, my life, my time, everything. I've given it away to charity.
But
For me, charity is
I can't give details, yeah. But based on our conversation beforehand, is that he goes for a job, and he puts in money in to do the job for them as charity. Now I understand if you do it for a mosque, yeah, where there's benefits in that in the hereafter. But when you're doing a normal job and you're putting money in, I don't know, little money, like grands of money, like nearly 40% of the job.
Yeah.
30-40% of the job
'Cause-
you're putting in as charity, and you don't even expect anything back.
And that's if they paid on time and in full. And not one of them are paid in time or in full. If you told me we're going to do a podcast today about what's happened with the business side of everything,
Right.
I would have brought the paperwork. I'd have happily shown you the paperwork because they call it yo-yo, but yet they don't want to see it. They don't want to show nobody.
People don't want to hear the truth. They're okay just hearing the narrative and considering that the truth.
Yeah, because remember where the smoke started from was from the mosques. So the place of worship, he's done such a big no-no over there. Yet when I challenge them and I openly say it, these particular committees, because why should everybody else be tarnished? Why should another masjid be tarnished because of the actions of one mosque?
Yeah.
That's why I specifically talk about one. And I always hid the second one, the Neville Street one. Because that's his own mess. That's his own mess.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's the one on Neville Street. There's by his own thing, it was a mess.
Management wise
Wherever it was.
or building wise.
Yeah, I was. Somebody phoned me and said because they're thinking of doing, they're extending it sideways, and because they know I got diggers and stuff, would I be partaking? I said no. Never with that mosque would I ever be part of it
Because of the history.
because of the arrogance.
Okay.
These guys have got titles. These guys are all educated. The difference between the Neville Street Mosque and the Central Mosque is the Neville Street one comes with people with PhDs and university education.
Seriously, yeah.
The ones that manage it behind the scenes. But the thing with the central is more traditional.
Yeah.
Back home.
Elders sort of thing. Yeah.
Elders.
Cultural. Very
Cultural.
Strongly.
Yeah.
Strong cultural.
This is
sort of
why
influence.
when we're off camera, we were having a very
Off
off camera,
camera,
we were having a fantastic conversation.
were,
You having
yeah,
a lot,
yeah.
You know how many
I
people
was loving it.
You know how many people said, "Yalla Muhammad, we can speak with you all day long," and you're not the person that everybody else thinking.
I never believed it.
No.
But it was
No, it's
saying,
not about believing it.
But the
you
thing
have
is-
to
thing
you
is,
have
yeah.
to give both sides a fair chance of listening.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But thing is, yeah, you know how people are, right? When they hear a lie for so long, that many times, you start to
A
put
lie,
doubt
is,
in your head.
a lie is spread more quicker and sooner, faster, and is believed more sooner and faster than anything, than the truth will ever be. Yeah? However, when the truth is spoken and said, it's not spread as fast.
Because people think it's boring.
People think it's boring. Because boringness,
People want drama.
everyone's drama in their lives. Even when my digger falls on one side, yeah, yeah, that's shared more quicker than me actually doing something positive. Because they've seen, Muhammad Ali's had another fall. He's like Humpty Dumpty. You know who Humpty Dumpty is, don't you? The egg off the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
I ain't never been that old, man.
I didn't say about oldness because some of your education might not be primary. You might have gone to madrasa or whatever.
Humpty Dumpty, man.
No, but can you see
Everyone
what?
knows that.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but what behind the scenes was, every Tom, Dick and Abdul, whatever job I do, all the other builders would go and talk about it. Every job that I've ever done.
Because it's that good.
Because not only he does it by himself. Yeah? That's what they say. What they don't say is he's only taking the money for that particular module.
Right.
So it could be £100,000 job or a £10,000 job. But if he's only taking £5,000, he's only going to give you £5,000 worth of work. And then move on to the next bit, and next bit, and next bit. Yeah?
Right.
So you keep the money manageable to your abilities. But also, this is the kicker. You asked about Muhammad Ali. And I told you about my sister, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
Yeah? Imagine somebody in that family whose control of the finances passes away, has a stroke. What happens to the finances then? And I've just gone gung-ho, smashed all the building in, thinking that this contract is going to be £100,000 contract. They've only given me £5,000, they've only given me £10,000, and I've already done £20,000-30,000 worth of work. But what do you class as £20,000-30,000 worth of work? Fuel, time spent in project management,
All the expenses.
all the overheads and all that, any labour, any materials you borrowed against your name. Yeah?
Yeah.
And everything else in between that. Can you see now? And then that person has that person only gives you another £5,000 as an example, as a payment, because they believe only £5,000 worth of work is done, because they will look at the materials that's come on site. It's not that doesn't matter how much materials come on site. Work is the work done accordingly, in a manner where you do not have to revisit it. This is where the frustration with people with me comes along, because I've been burnt in the past financially. We've not talked about the jobs I got other builders to do. Behind the scenes, have we talked about it?
No.
Why should I? Why should anybody know my business for? Why should I talk about what other builders have done to me? When I've been put in a beautiful, privileged position that I gave up my studies as a chemist, because I was doing, with my interest in pharmaceuticals, my job in Mumps Bridge. There was a chemist, pharmaceutical company called Seaton Shull. Seaton is the footwear. They do medical footwear. Shulls is a part of it, and then there's Seaton Shull and something else. And I was a quality control analyst for a drugs company. So you know the medicines that you take from Boots and stuff like that, pharmacies.
Yeah.
Not to mention there are other companies out there. Chadderton Pharmacy, love them guys. If you need medicines, Chadderton Pharmacy. Don't touch anybody else.
Stop dropping names, because I'm not sponsored by them.
No, I'll tell them about it, and then make sure that you at least you give your prescriptions to them. But anyway, no, I'll tell you, when I was struggling, they came in. They helped me a lot. Chariton did. So people that have helped me, and most of them are non-Muslim, by the way. Or the ones that wanted to bury me, all Muslim.
Asians,
All Muslim.
they happen to be Muslims,
No.
but it's not the quality of Muslims who are doing that. It's Asians who happen to be Muslims. That's how I rephrase it all the time.
You can phrase it all day you like, all you like.
If their life is heavily influenced by culture, and they happen to be Muslims, then it's not Muslims doing it; it's culture doing it. Bengalis or Pakistanis or Indians, not Muslims.
I've just started a conversation.
I wouldn't defame Muslims because of that.
I didn't defame anybody.
You're saying Muslims.
Yeah.
A good Muslim would never do that.
Now you go. You started a different conversation. I've just put the
Just clarifying.
No, you're not clarifying. No, this is a self-reflection. When that person came on social and said, "Oh, he's taking 10 grand and my mum's money, blah blah blah," it's not his mum's money. He's not even. I thought it was his mum's house because that's how it was shown to me.
You've not mentioned it before. We've not mentioned that.
Yeah, it came to me. Somebody else said, "That's not his mum's house. That's why they're targeting you on social." When I said
It wasn't. It was though.
that's what they said to the world. When I said take it to the solicitors, and they kept on saying it was a yo-yo contract, but he said to the world that he's taking 10 grand and his mum's house. And I said, if I've dishonoured your mum, then you take me to the courts. But they didn't.
I wonder why.
But if you give me if you give me the structural engineer's drawings, we'll all forget about it.
Huh?
Exactly. If I did so much wrong, but if you give me the calculations, everything's fine. Or we'll give you £1,000.
What are they trying to hide?
Like everybody else or whatever.
That sounds to me like a bribe.
Not a bribe.
What are you then?
You gave me 10 out of 14. You didn't give me 14.
Sounds like they're trying to cover up something with you.
The whole thing. And then they used other builders. 'Cause like I said, there was a lot of unease I was feeling. That's why I started my WTF episode, and I bombarded it for you guys to be the witness. So you guys are
But then
all.
again, it could be just said that this is just your version.
How can it be my version? You all watched it.
Watched what?
Me building it.
Yeah, that's.
But you never saw the paperwork. And I was getting bombarded like, oh, mine took this, that, mine didn't take that long, mine didn't this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? Oh, one thing I do with one thing about me is, so ever since I was a kid, yeah, we talk about elders. The elders always used to open up to me. And they told me everything from the good and the bad, the regrets and the happiness.
Right.
One of the elders, I'm going to name drop. I'm going to name drop 2 people. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Muzahid Khan's dad,
Okay.
Nana, and Muzahid Khan's Sasa, Maulana Kamal's dad.
Okay.
The conversations we had, they were phenomenal. But I will never ever forget Muzahid's dad's last words. Whose matti is between my fingernails, and the shovel I still use today to buy a thingy, to build houses and bury people. And he said, I will never ever get chance to read namaz in that mosque. So I've always kept myself accountable. And Dad always used to say to my uncles and everyone, to my elders, never pee off Muhammad Ali. Because you raised him. You educated Muhammad Ali. You taught him the do's, the don'ts, the whys, the whats. And
Every trick of the trade.
of the community. Expectations, realities, business, entrepreneurship, failures. But there's one thing about our family. Outside of London, Oldham was the next influential Bangladeshi community in all of Europe. Not numbers in population. You got Birmingham, Luton, Bradford. They're bigger in quantity.
Oldham is still one of the largest Bengali communities outside London.
Now it's growing in terms of numbers. Yeah?
Yeah.
But it's lost its reputation.
True.
You know why? I'll tell you
Why?
one thing. back in when Dad was in his heyday, he had Kirkbankshire. This is for Tesco's. I'm gonna put pictures on my show, so whoever follows my Facebook, I've been dropping pins for the last couple of years. None of it made sense until now, because I hid the truth. Because there's a lot of pain there. My mosques, yeah, my sanctuaries were absolutely ransacked by politicians. And the most dreadful of the lot, the dreaded of the community. Drugs was never in Oldham. It was always low key. What does it call it? Underground.
Right.
Drugs, alcohol, and that stuff was always underground. Because we, the people, didn't allow it to become the norm. Vaping, cigarettes, blah, blah, blah. People did it behind the corners. If you were going to do something, you hid into it.
Right.
Because if some old man sees it, it's going straight to my parents. And I'm going to get a leathering. Yeah?
Right.
Now you got vaping, you got all this. It's become the norm. Boyfriend, girlfriend, this, that, the other. It's the norm. Openly done. You celebrate it. So the moral fabric of the community is being undone by ourselves. And who is profiteering off it?
Who?
The councillors and their friends. When I mentioned the three Abduls and the three amigos and their merry men, it includes the whole bloody lot of them. Because they had every opportunity to change the direction. They had every resource. If Oldham sneezed, a lot of people got colds. That's how influential Oldham was. Now it's a laughing stock. Why do you think people are absolutely angry with our family? Especially with me.
Why?
Shamia. For 30 years, we were part of everybody's iftar. And for 30 years, we were the thingy of every kid's upbringing. My mum and dad just take me there for don and chips. The sauce is on point. Doesn't matter where we go, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? It doesn't matter where we go. We can go around the
Chili
UK.
mayo sauce.
We go around the UK
Second to
without
none.
Shamia's don and chips or the sauce. Yeah? And our menu was very good. We had an extensive... You had that don and chips or chips and doner.
Exactly.
Yeah? And maybe chips on one day. Or a don on the other day.
And an added option.
Yeah.
Salad.
And salad.
It was wicked.
And roza sumoy, jalabi, khaza, nimki.
Oh, the best.
Yeah. We never have to compete with anybody. I don't compete anybody in the construction game. I do my own thing. And that's why nobody can ever pin me down to what's really happened. Because they'll say, because other builders came in, one goes on the skyscraper, the work that accused me of stuff, the one that you saw on social, one builder comes in and goes, are you building a bloody skyscraper on the foundations? Another one comes in, you hand dug that all by yourself. Yeah? Over 20 tons of it. All by myself. I said, you have no how much I made when we were working at Central, how much we threw away. And I used to dig a lot of by hand because some of the guys weren't even getting paid. So just to keep optics, the illusion that things were good, I still continue the works. And I wasn't even getting paid on time. So you say how much
There's
money?
so much to unpack here, man. I don't know where to even begin, how
You're not
to
meant
finish
to.
it, how to conclude it, where to ask it. It's so confusing and it's so much detail, mystery, secrets.
If you told me, Mohammed, we're going to just talk about one particular job, I'll bring up... Now you see my paperwork.
No. Knowing you, you're somehow intertwined with everything else. Because everything you do is connected to everything else.
Yeah.
And
Because
you're
when-
complicated if to pinpoint.
Because when I rebuilt Maya, Shurma,
Yeah.
I did it as a community project. Nobody knew. It was 4 square. You know where I got the inspiration, money, that's where I learned the building game. I studied the Sahaba's lives, the Prophet's lives.
Right.
And Shurma is a square box. What other cube that we know on this world? That is a cube.
The what? Oh, the Kaaba, innit?
Exactly.
Right, Makkah.
So who built them? Rebuilt it several times.
Right.
But the final one was Ibrahim himself, innit?
Yeah.
Okay, Ibrahim, everything like that. So why would I want to go out to next man who's got too many, a man-made rules, man-made laws, when you've already got the best of examples?
Right.
Not only
I'm not sure the connection
accountability,
of what.
oneself.
But
So
in
when I
regards to
rebuilt the
what?
when I rebuilt the restaurant,
Right.
and I had no idea what to do with it.
Mm.
All I knew that alcohol was forbidden. But personally, I wouldn't sell alcohol anyway. For me, personally, I don't like it. Yeah? Because I've known too many personal family stories. Not on my family immediately, but I know of other families where alcohol
Has destroyed families.
has destroyed families. Yeah?
Right.
And some of those people we've had to help rehabilitate, any, or help the immediate wife,
Yeah.
children, whatever, because of husband drinking, wife drinking, this, that, the other. You did it subject to something similar the other day, innit? Yeah, I'm sure you mentioned something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I don't wanna overthink it. So, and you talked about one of the Molanas or something about one of the mosque committee guys talking about it. This
Yeah.
is in 2020.
Yeah.
I was dealing with that in the early 2000s, all by myself, and I'm not a mufti or a Molana, and that's the problem. In our community, they believe for change to happen, you have to have a title first.
Ooh, oh. I asked the question. Somebody asked me, at some meeting, whatever it was, that why don't you have? Because if you need to grow views on your YouTube channel, right? You need to have controversy. I go fine, right? And he was bugging me about this. He was really bugging me about this. I go okay, fine. And I posed the question. Controversy, fine. I got one subject for you. What about holding scholars accountable? And he himself was a scholar. Because what about subject about holding scholars accountable? Because they don't speak or are afraid to speak about subjects because they think they have to uphold a reputation or do whatever reasons can't talk about certain subjects. Because scholars are meant to be the people who we are taught as well. We are taught that we need to speak the truth and the haqq no matter what we're facing. Armageddon or a tyrant, we need to be speaking about the truth no matter who's in front of us. But yet our scholars are afraid to speak and talk about subjects that are going to be too
Because it hurts their standing in the community.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you a perfect example. You're looking at one right now. And I said to these upcoming muftis and Maulanas, and in the name you can decide for northwest, southeast. Yeah, that's the clue. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Accountability of learned scholars and not taking accountability,
Right.
especially when they see in the eye when they have the ability to speak out about untruth, injustice, or come in and try find balance. Yeah? Because how the situations happen is normally between two human beings. Yeah? And we don't live in the Truman Show. We don't live with the Big Brother mindset. Sometimes things happen naturally and it's a progression. It's how you deal with it that matters.
Right.
So with me, remember when everything happened in March 2020, 2022 with my Facebook on?
Yeah.
Do you know who came to my rescue, really?
Who?
It was all the families I buried.
Mashallah.
All them families, everybody else stayed quiet. They just observed and it was a show for them. The muftis and Maulanas, none of them came to show. Yeah? Apart from one eventually. But the reason I'm telling you that story, as soon as one thing like that, the dead people's family quashed it. They reached out and quashed it straight away. But
They backed you up.
Of course. Because me burying someone's family, what worth is it for me? I lose work because they're not my family. Every time I do a burial, I lose a week's work because it hurts my back. But I've seen so much disrespect at the burial, of the way people's bodies are handled. It broke me. That's the reason why for the last 20 years I bury people. Not for fame. Not for payback later on. I buried your dad, so therefore you owe me something.
No, of course not.
All the jobs I get is because of the dead. We saw you burying such a body. Do you work at the cemetery? I said, that's the biggest insult ever. He goes, what do you mean? You think I want to get paid for this? It's, for me, this is the greatest honor. My shovel, you could pick up a Ferrari and a Lamborghini, and everybody knows, and now you're slowly realizing behind the scenes how much.
There's still so much we can't say.
Exactly.
And there's still so much that you're not telling us as well.
Yeah.
You've had a very interesting up and down history, past, so many interactions with people, so many things that you can say and learn and provide as value.
And I'm not here to slag anybody else off.
No.
I'm not here to slag anybody off. No.
Neither am I.
But people need to know
But people need to know some stuff.
who the hell Muhammad Ali is. And even now they'll be like, even now he's not a doctor, he's not a philosopher, he's not your traditional, what's that word I use, a philanthropist.
Right.
Because normally they attach their names to everything. They want something in return. A philanthropist wants their name on the board
Yeah.
because they want to do something else with it. They use it as a stepping board.
Yeah.
I'm a philanthropist, so therefore now I've achieved this, and now I'm going to do the next adventure. So because I've done this, I'm entitled to the next thing. Does that make sense? And going back to Muftis and Maulanas,
This is going to be a very, very sore subject for a lot of people.
I don't care.
And people are going to get really stung by
I don't
this,
care
right?
because they burnt me. Their education, there's two dunyas, yeah. One is this world, which is temporary, and then the akhirah,
Right?
yeah,
The hereafter.
the hereafter. This is the people that believe in the hereafter. Some people believe once you're dead, you're dead. That's it, yeah. So this is the people that believe there's a hereafter, and that's eternal. But you can only get to the hereafter in the good place by being being an accountable person. Does that make sense? So my muftis, Maulanas, I was always told by the elders that respect people of knowledge and respect your elders.
And so be it. And you should.
You should do. Of course you should.
You should.
Of course they should. Like parents should be respected and loved. When they tell you don't put your hand in the fire, because there's a reason.
Yeah.
As a child, but still as a child, when they're not
People
looking.
of knowledge of Islam are very special people. Right? They are people who teach Quran, Hadith and Islamic values. Right, guys. This has been a very special, weird, flipping, I don't know what the hell this is, podcast, yeah? And my battery died on the flipping camera. And that's never done that. We've been here for so long. I'm going to put this like 2 to 3 parts, right? It's been so long. And I need to finish this conversation off and then conclude it. So, guys, thank you. So, you were saying about accountability for scholars and how they did back you up.
No. So I've given you a little bit of my upbringing.
Yeah.
Which is very rare. You'd be like, what the hell? I don't know what he did for an upbringing. But when I started changing the Featherstone Road and doing business from selling all the alcohol, and I redeveloped, it was my money that I put in, my inheritance, to an extent. I gave up 4 years of my life, and I didn't earn a penny for 4 years of my life. 4 years, I didn't earn a single penny. So when you saw me in the big cars,
Yeah.
that's when the restaurant closed. But we still had to keep appearances, because a lot of people look to our family as some kind of compass,
Okay.
yeah, on propriety, because we're so loved in the community. Then I went on to do the mosque.
Right.
That's when people started getting. They knew something was going to happen. After 20 years of so much history in the building to get that mosque to where it was, and then they saw Muhammad Ali there, and it took everybody by surprise. It wasn't a special kind of thing. They just saw me one day with my shovel, and the guys there digging.
Yeah.
That's when people of Oldham there said, "Oh, something's going to happen now," because the son of such a body's there. Yeah.
He comes to the rescue. Oh.
Yeah, and I kicked out all the committee members, and I
From
said
where?
from the mosque, meaning that I said, leave me alone, let
I
me
see.
do my thing. Yeah, you come on every Friday, If you go back on the thing, you would never see me at any of the meetings on a Friday. You know when they go to the ground and they would make dua?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah? I was never invited to any of them. I was not allowed to be on them, should I say.
Should you be?
Why shouldn't I be? Everybody else were fighting to get to the front. The mosque committee were, and all them people, they were fighting to get to the front, to be on camera.
Okay, I see.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So when Muhammad Ali, Mukursele, son of, already the son of Muhammad Ali kita horiya hase for his parents. Kita horse to amra fete so roto maze. He's changed his dad's restaurant. Hoto boro zinish horse, such a young boy. So when they must start, the only way to get rid of me was to bring out the deception and the lies.
But don't you think because of your lack of speaking out, you've been penalized, and you've allowed them? It could be seen like that, yeah. That you've allowed them to speak crap about you, and that sort of lie or information has been seen by the public, and they're not considering it to be the truth.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, now you've come out since last year, come out very vocal. You've been out there speaking. There's still time, or the time is still needed, and I think Facebook. The way you're doing it, it's still not enough. I think.
Oh, the way I'm doing it is actually detrimental to me in one way. Can you see? Because look at how our family, me, standing in the community, I was always the one in the background. You never saw me. You saw me, and you always saw me at the masjid, and that's why we used to smile and laugh. But outside of the masjid, you never saw me. I was always around, but you never heard anything of me, because I was the one who does everything quietly for the angels to record. That's it.
People have taken advantage of your silence.
Of course, they've taken advantage of my smile. They've taken my advantage of me, how much I can take, as how much
of your name and who you represent.
No, I'm the battering, the burden is on my shoulders. What the councillors unfortunately didn't like is I never went to the councillors for help. Everything I've done is because of the education that my parents gave me. Never ever did they warn me away from anybody. Can you see? They never said, oh, that guy. And parents never ever said, oh, don't stay away from that guy because he did this to your dad. Never ever. Some people ask, how come you still, if you say so much about these guys, how come you still take pictures with them? And I say, no, they take pictures with me. But, of course, they need a title in front of their names to feel like they've got worth. But if people are not giving them, no
value.
No value. So they need, pardon my French, the white people, the councils, to give them worth. And this is where I come into play. Because
Why don't you come to the platform then?
I am at the platform.
Become a counsellor.
Why should I? Why should I come down to that level? For me, it's coming down. You think my dad...
Either we like it or not, that's the position.
Because the community... No. When the lies started, it was at the masjid. And I reached out to one or two very, very people from a certain learned.
Right.
And they didn't take on the cause. If Muhammad Ali is saying behind the scenes and he's kept it quiet, things are not right and financial misconduct, financial things are happening. And now they'll be searching my name. And I don't even need the bloody money. And they're saying this. And it's a pattern that I will show slowly, that once the mosque committee gets comfortable, to get rid of that person that made it comfortable, they will bring out a lie. They did that with Munnan Hazi. They did that with the original architect. They did this. They said that, And then the last person, when he was being built, was Muhammad Ali. He was the last one. Because after me, there hasn't been any... everything else has been controversial. Is that other geezer who comes on, every Sunday night.
Who?
Mr. Rajamia. He's a different one. Well,
one?
No. Somebody else. He's another geezer. Anyway, what they didn't like was...
I know him.
Yeah. What they didn't like was I was keeping accounts of all the pieces of paper, every movement when that mosque was being built. So I said to them, in 10 years' time, should anybody need a template of a masjid to be built,
Right.
he's the perfect one. Because we've learned from the sins and the mistakes of every other masjid. Yeah? We have the ability to change that mindset. You know what they turned around and said?
What?
This is a Bishnati mosque.
Seriously? Is that still even a thing now?
And remember, I'm a Satohi. So when I was on the Jagannath Puri thingy the other day, it raised a few eyebrows.
Right, just to clarify, yeah, that he belongs to a different village in Bangladesh, other people belong to a different village in Bangladesh, or different town, whatever it is, and this sort of mentality is still about within
that's
the
what
elder generation, right?
And that's why the youth
And the youth are being are the victims of this mentality, but amongst the elders, amongst whoever saw, yeah, still regard this as a issue where you're a different village or different town we're from a different town and village, so we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah, you keep to your own people.
Yeah.
Your kind of thing. You're
You do your own thing, we will do our
Is
own
that
thing.
classed as racism? It's an ism.
I don't know what
It's
it
an
is.
ism.
Yeah.
It's an ism. Anyway, but when this is the because we talk about the muftis and molanas.
Right, yeah, go on.
So when the muftis and molanas heard about it, what did they do?
I don't know. What do they do? Heard about what, by the way?
About the thingy about me, the lies.
Right, the lies about you, yeah.
Yeah. What did they do?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. Because one of the reasons why I was saying here is that one end product of it.
I don't know who did what.
No, exactly.
I've only heard
They
information.
didn't do anything.
Should they have done?
Why wouldn't they?
What-
Isn't that not their
what
responsibility?
position are they in to say something about it?
They by education, by default,
The community leaders.
yeah, and challenge them.
They
Say this
mediate
is,
issues
if
and problems.
one person of the same faith against another one. And I've reached out to them in secret.
Right.
Nobody else knew about it
Okay.
because these people are related in one way or the other,
Oh yeah.
or have influence on one, has ear.
same
of-
circles, right?
Yeah, has an ear of the other one and say, listen, man, is this what's really going on? Because the source is credible. Me saying it is a desperate act of help.
Yeah.
With all my resources and everything, all that stuff, all that good stuff, and I'm reaching out for you for help.
It's an implication of that how
Yeah.
desperate you could be. Or
Oh, I'm human.
yeah.
I'm human. I know my limitations, and I know where you could have took forward, but you left me to burn. What was worse is, when you again went to got your property, you reached out to the councillors, the ones that burnt my reputation. And when you went to have your mosque and stuff built, they didn't even say, Muhammad Ali, come on.
They left you out, yeah.
They left me out. And because had I done that one,
It's typical, isn't it? Typical.
no. Because think about it. Everything that they preach, I put into practice. And it wasn't their words. I learned this when I was a kid at Middleton Road Mosque. Why should I give precedence to people that are educated in this country, Bury, Darloom, and this, that, the other? Some guy called Don. There's a guy called Don or something. Very, very
Who's
well
that, Don?
very respected teacher, elder, Maragison. He was either in Bury or Bolton or one of the big Darulooms. He was one of the Dons, and everybody used to speak about him.
Right.
But my ustad was from back home. And I went to the local mosque. But they taught exactly the same things.
It's getting complicated here.
It's very complicated.
It's
But
getting complicated.
I'm going back then. If the ustads at that one say, Muhammad, okay, fair enough, you had a bad time there. Yeah, we all understand the politics behind it. Come on, build this one. Because we've seen what you do. We'll stay with you. If after that you messed up, then they can say, no, it was right. There was some truth in it. Muhammad Ali, take this from a learning. Take this as a teaching. That this job isn't for you. Does that make sense? Because
No.
because dad is a chef. Yeah? Dad did it for 30 years. That doesn't automatically give me the right to call myself a chef. If I'm not competent at it. Can you see? It's by practice. Even dad, I tell dad I was never a chef.
I'll have to conclude it here, man. Bishop. There's too much that we have said and so much because we haven't stuck to a single topic.
Because you can't with me.
I know.
Not because I'm diverting your answer. I'm not. It's not like I'm. Don't want to.
It's just you
very
feel like it's
complex.
very hard to answer. It's very complicated. There's no simple answer with you. I get it.
And does it look like I'm trying to?
When I was doing a bit of research on you as well to find out what kind of questions I've been asking, it was very difficult because I knew you're not just a builder. I knew you're not just a vocal, outspoken individual regarding politics. You're much more than that. But I couldn't pinpoint what it was.
The politicians come to me when they want things fixing.
Wow.
The elders come to me when they want something fixing.
Hi.
People come to me when they want something to be done accurately and properly from day one. It's only
Is that
when it...
just related to building?
No. Your home, only you know how hard it was to muster the monies to get it together.
Right.
Can you see what I mean? To invite me into your home and tell me, Mohammed, we do not want to be left in a position where we've heard of other thingy builders turned our lives upside down. But you invite me into your own home and then stab me in the back. Mohammed, come from your house.
That could be seen.
No, Mohammed, no, Mohammed, leave your home, leave your family and kids, spend time in my house to fix it and whatnot, and then we're not going to pay you, or we're going to find a way not to pay you.
Okay. Fine. That's one way of looking at it.
No,
the other way,
we looked at it both ways.
The other way that could be said is that you've been invited to a home where you've broken down and dismantled, and you've left us like this.
Of course, if you're not paid the money, of course I'm going to leave it too. That's what the council says.
Yeah.
Anybody, a solicitor does that. A lawyer does that. A doctor, Dad, perfect example of Dad when he was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah, they opened him up, found out it was too worse. So what did they do? They closed him back up again, left the original one in until they got permission to go back in again, and cut out the remaining. So they left the original one in because they said right next to it there's a piece that because it's not being signed for,
They can't get it out.
They want a liability for. So why would I do that to you? Why would I take any responsibility that you've not financially agreed to or given me permission to? And when you do give me permission, you've not given me the money in advance. I've always said you give me one stage in advance so then I move on. Because I've been burnt. All the other jobs I've done and not got paid for.
Right, guys, listen. I've been trying to conclude it for so many times. This is the third time I've been trying to conclude.
Oh yeah, time check. We didn't do a time check.
We've been here for so long, man. How long have we been here for?
And have you just started? Tip of the iceberg.
Bloody hell, I know. If that's how it feels like, that we just.
But you know how I'm going to turn and say, "Look, Mohammed, we can still hear carry on talking again."
We could be here all night, literally all night.
We're not bad mouthing anybody.
I know.
No,
guys, I have no idea what to say right now. Yeah, all I can say is that
I might start doing.
There's so many things that we've spoken about. There's topics that we've touched. There's issues that we've mentioned. There's things that we've learned about Muhammad Ali, by some. And also we don't know much about him as well. Again, yeah, because he's too complicated guy. He's part of history. He's part of the history of Oldham. He lives he belongs to the main road, which is Featherstone Road in Oldham, which has a lot of history. Because he's Bengali, because we're Bengali culture as well. There's so much history and politics and good, the bad, the ugly, everything on that street, on that road. And probably after this, right, if there's anything that you feel that needs to be spoken about more in detail, right, any topic or any subject.
Season 2, YTF.
You know what? I'm happy to bring you on again, yeah?
Today I left you with a WTF. Tomorrow's like a YTF.
I'll be happy, and I'm sure he'll agree as well, to come back on the podcast and talk about those same issues or the same topics.
For more accuracy, in a more boring manner. Because I'm actually the most boring person you'd ever come to meet.
Yeah. So guys, yeah, Thank you for joining me for this long. Yeah, I'm gonna be cutting this podcast into parts. Yeah,
Can
so
I
it's
give
too
you one
long.
final conclusion
Go on,
about the youth?
go on.
As an elder, and I'm talking about people 40 and above, stop blaming the youth because you guys built the roads. The people from 40 to 30, you need to step up and say, when we saw the wrongs happening with our elders, why did we not step up? The youth, guys, ride it, drive it, yes. But that doesn't make you who you are. Your character, your dil, your heart, which is your heart, your character is your true identity, not the car that you drive. You're talking to the guy, and this is coming from the guy who was the first biggest car in Oldham. Still does. But it didn't bother me. If you got your parents' love and your parents' respect, nothing else can buy that. Everything else, man, just do it in moderation. That's all I'm gonna say. But the elders, you guys need to stop abusing your position and blaming the youth. And you councillors, you guys shouldn't be there. Full stop. now that's me being cheeky, but I'm telling you, don't go for a title, don't go for a job that you're not competent at doing. Give it to somebody that is actually competent at it. The people need that. That's what people really need. They need people in every walk of, in every position. When you said, Muhammad, why didn't you go for it? Why should I come? Why should I bring myself down to that level when there's somebody that can go up a level? Yeah? Competent at it. Whose parents started different. Alhamdulillah, I was very fortunate to start in a very privileged position. Yeah? Why should I want to start monopolizing on everything? When I was 6, when you see Muhammad Ali standing over your grave, you'd only been in that little box. And one day it'll be my position, my turn. And what I'd rather witness is everybody fighting and crying and saying, I want that final salam, that final, whatever it is, my heart, that final say goodbye to Muhammad. Because when we were walking and we were smiling, I had every ample opportunity. Now is the last time. And we've lost that. Do you know why the community is broken? It's because we stand away from the grave because we're worried that our designer shoes and our designer car will get dirty. Me, I go in my designer car with my designer shoes, jump in your grave, go all black home, this, that, the other, go straight to the masjid and people saw me and I go to the eats, yeah? And I'm in that same dirt. And to me, that is the wealth. Everybody else goes, washes their hands, this, that, the other. They don't want to get their cars dirty.
I want to ask you before I conclude.
Yeah.
What legacy do you want to leave behind?
What legacy? Just continue what the Prophet ﷺ did for us.
What do you want to do?
What do I want to do?
What's your legacy?
My legacy is to be Sadqa Jariyah to my parents. See, talking to me is not easy, is it?
Can't get straight answer, can I? I thought you gave a really profound answer.
What?
You know what I mean?
I'm going to go climb a different mountain. Or I'm going to go to another country.
Some
Charity.
guys do that, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm not mocking anybody. But for me, charity starts at home.
I don't believe that, yeah.
What's the point of burying our heads in the sand in this country and looking elsewhere when you've got enough problems
That's a
here?
whole different topic, man.
Exactly.
Whole different topic.
And with me, we, through our businesses and through our community thingies, we get to deal with those topics head on. And you are going to be hated for it.
You know what it is? I feel the reason why I feel so but certain topics because our older community is broken.
Yeah, who broke
And
it?
I'm tired of just sitting on the sidelines watching it happen.
Yeah. So
And
I had all the resources. To
I
take it.
have no resources. I have nothing to offer, nothing to give. I have nothing. But this is just my way of
No, alhamdulillah,
doing
what you're doing is
something.
far.
You know what I mean?
You've started something phenomenal. But now you can say, well, back from 1998 when Muhammad Ali was getting involved, who had all the resources and all the tools and all the money and all the everything else. What is it now? So almost 25 years later, we're sitting down having this conversation.
This podcast, whatever it was, it started off Oldham, right? But when I got thought of it and more deeply and more into it, it's families and communities all over the flipping country and all over the world as well. Families are broken families. Not on purpose, not by accident, whatever it is, due to whatever reason, due to whatever influence that they're trying to attract in their own form.
Yeah.
TikTok, social media, Instagram, whatever it is, yeah. They're inviting all those bullcrap, toxic mentality into their own homes, feeding it into their children who's absorbing all this information, yeah, that they're not ready for. And when those kids grow up and they do toxic things and they talk back to their families and they're choosing and they're doing things out of wedlock and on being undisciplined. You know what I mean? And we ask why? Why did it happen? Why did it happen? We have no idea.
Yeah. There's one place in Oldham where all of that became null and void.
We'll talk about it later.
Now does it all make sense? There was that strip.
Listen. Nothing makes sense. Nothing made sense. I'm gonna be all straight with you. Nothing made sense.
Oldham, you know what we need to do? We need to all have an award ceremony in Oldham where we're just awarding ourselves.
The worst counsellor. Or the worst.
No. We'll just award. I'll print something off for the fun of it, and I'll award you a certificate.
Oh shit!
Because that's what's going on.
That's the whole topic as well. Oh my god!
We'll just award ourselves, and you've seen how much printing I do.
You to be here on a permanent basis, you know that. You to be here on a permanent basis. Me and you talk about these issues.
And who's going to be building all those houses that I keep on all those extensions?
We'll do it on a part-time basis.
That's what everybody's saying. I'm a part-time thing, innit?
Right, guys, before we carry on, yeah, subscribe, like, and share, yeah, to this podcast, right?
If you've got the energy to watch all of this.
I know, man, but yeah, there's so much to unpack. I mean, anyway, I feel as if we've talked about so many subjects and topics, but nothing in detail, and I feel like I learned nothing.
Are you sure you've not learned anything?
I've learned that you're complicated. I've learned that you've done so much for the community. I've learned that you've been silent for so many times, for so long. I've learned that being silent and inaction in a world where social media is a must now, yeah, or else people will take advantage of your silence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just trying to help families out there who are struggling, who are unaware of the bullcrap that we have put people in positions.
And that includes in the mosques, the muftis and the mawlanas, the ones that have got
we are not free.
They're not benefiting our community whatsoever.
Our lives are being impacted by certain decisions that we are not aware of.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I
hate that.
Now you're answering who Muhammad Ali is.
I have no idea who you are saying. Anyway, guys,
Keep start again.
Like and subscribe and share, yeah. Write comments. I want you to tell me what you've learned, not learned, what you want to talk about. Everything.
Even if Muhammad Ali is just a joker.
Before we go,
say it.
Thank you very much. Have a good day and sayonara, guys.
Assalamu alaikum.
What the hell?